Hello again. In the 1980s, during the presidency of Ronald Reagan, American and Saudi money was provided to bin Laden in order that he could recruit the Taliban. The Taliban are of the same Wahhabi sect of Islam as is the majority of Saudi citizens, including members of their royal family. The extent to which any American money from the government was involved is not clear. The CIA set up training camps in Afghanistan where the Taliban were trained in the techniques they needed in order to be able to force out the Russian army of occupation, a task in which they succeeded. By the time of the Lockerbie bomb disaster, it was quite clear that the Afghanistani Taliban would rule Afghanistan, and the Saudi Taliban turned its attention to how it could force US military personnel out of Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure that the CIA recognized this point, because they did later on introduce units of the Saudi Taliban to the Balkans during the breakup of the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, where they assisted Croats in carrying out ethnic cleansing of Serbs from the Karagina province of Croatia. During that period, when General Richards, now Sir David Richards, our Chief of Staff, was in charge of the British contingent in Kosovo, the US NATO commander in Brussels, so The Economist tells us, ordered Richards to confront the Russians at Pristina, where Russian forces had occupied the airport. According to The Economist, Richards refused to accept the order on the ground that it wasn't part of his remit to initiate World War III. In the early months of 1989, The Economist published an article detailing the events leading up to the Lockerbie bomb disaster. The article tells us that the bomb was actually carried on board by a CIA runner who was carrying their drug money from Afghanistan to New York to be laundered at the Bank of Commerce and Credit International. It went on to say that the two bags containing the bomb and the money were of the same size and shape and were swapped in Frankfurt Airport. This would mean that al-Megrahi, the Libyan so-called Lockerbie bomber, is totally innocent, since he was based in Malta and couldn't possibly have got himself involved in swapping bags. This means that both Blair and Bush were totally outwitted by Colonel Gaddafi of Libya, whose objective, of course, was to secure release from US sanctions on his country. I think it is quite odd that senior American officers should put themselves in the position where they appear to be trying to initiate World War III. It is time we considered very seriously to what extent we should always support American foreign policy, isn't it?